All right. So our first review of the day is going to be for the film The Fire Inside. The Fire Inside is a movie directed by Rachel Morrison here. Rachel Morrison, who's done some other stuff there. She did Lost and Found. She did Redemption, Maddie there. These are short films that she did. Um, and she's coming to do this. This is a sports biopic film about the life of Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields is a female boxer there who rose to prominence, who's still rising to prominence. She's only 29 years old.
Yeah,
Uh,
fucking
she
crazy.
Currently she's considered one of the best female boxers in the sport. So yeah, this is chronicles her early life there and her rise, especially when she went to the Olympics to win the her very first gold medal. And that's not a big spoiler, because that happens halfway through the movie. That's like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not really the big build up to the movie. Usually, if this was typical, sports biopic, the whole movie would have been about her training and then the montage and then the people rooting in her town rooting for her to win the gold medal. But it's all about kind of what happens after she wins the gold medal and the life of a
Yes.
female athlete. There that really is where the meat and bones of the movie is that part of it. But yeah, so you see her there where she's going to the 2012 Summer Olympics to win the gold medal. She comes from Flint, Michigan. And you see that, she comes from a very kind of broken, rough environment, rough in a home there, and what kind of the outlet that sports provides for her. Here in this, you have Clarissa Shields, who's played by Ryan Destiny in this, who's also actually the same age as Clarissa Shields is currently. She's 29, but they do a good job at making her look a lot younger because
They do. I was
uh,
shocked by that, actually.
yeah, because throughout the most of the movie, she's supposed to be 16, 17 years old. So it's still in high school, which even makes it even more impressive that this girl was able to do that, was able to train and go to the Olympics and actually win a gold medal at such a young age as she was. So that even makes it kind of more impressive. But yeah, so this is what this kind of a lot of this movie details there. This was also written by Barry Jenkins. Barry Jenkins, who we just talked about, he just directed a movie called Mufasa, there, The Lion King, but he's also done much better work. He's done movies like Moonlight and then things like If Beale Street Could Talk. So he's the writer of this film. But yeah, I'm gonna pass it around. Get some thoughts on this. Hunter, what are your thoughts on The Fire Inside?
Yeah, so you kind of said it. The biggest surprise about this movie is that usually, it's the montage, they win, roll credits. But her winning is like at like the halfway point of the movie, which shocked the shit out of me because like I saw the trailer for this. I was like, okay, yeah, this looks good. And Barry Jenkins, love that brother. And you know, I'll watch anything of Brian Tyree Henry at this point, like that. He's a day one. Pretty much the whole Atlanta cast. Like they do anything, I'm there. But the boxing sequences in here are so well filmed. That was something I was like, girl, go ahead. And when you realize her background, she was a cinematographer on Mudbound, Black Panther, and then Dope. Her being such a great director and being able to nail those fight scenes. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you would know how to go ahead and handle this shit. The boxing is handled so well and with such respect, which I absolutely love. The chemistry between Ryan Destiny and Brian Tyree Henry, that really is like that's god tier shit. It's so well done in here, and you understand where his character Jason Crutchfield is coming from. There's definitely some bitterness as you learn about his character and how he kind of had a shot to be what she ends up becoming, and he just got stuck in Flint. And if there is any advice I could give any of you you younger people listening to the show, if you get a chance to get out of your hometown, get the fuck out of there. It'll always be there. You can go back if you want, but leave your hometown. It is good to get out and see the world. God damn it. And I love how this movie really does hammer that home, because I think there is, especially with people of color, we see this a lot with pro athletes, that aspect of, oh, I got to take care of, got to take care of my homies, got to take care of my family. And there is that point where you can get stuck in that mindset and it keeps you from growing. And there's an incredible conversation that Jason and Clarissa have about that once she wins, where you're like, yeah, he's right. Don't get stuck. Don't get knocked up by some dude at 18. Like, like it's shitty, but those are things you have to think about as you get older. And I really like the way that it hammers that home, because there is that point, and I think people forget because it seems like so long ago, but UFC didn't have women fighting for so long, and then Ronda Rousey was chosen to be the the standard and the face of that division, and then of course you get all these other women who come in who could beat Holly Holm, and and but it's really interesting to see kind of how it gets into the financial aspects of this too, because she's a fucking gold medalist. She won. She represented her country. She comes back. No one wants to sponsor her, and it's like, that is fucking insane that you put in all this work. And I really like the way, the depths that this goes to. Her mom too. I haven't even mentioned her mom. Her mom, man, there's some shit her mother does that I was just like, oh, you rat shitty bitch. Like, like what is your problem? Like, there's this point where this dude tries to hit on, not even tries to hit on, fucking tries to grab Clarissa, and he's like, nigga's almost 40, to quote Bad Boys 2. And it's one of those moments where you're just like, god damn, like, this is the sort of living situation she's in, and so many people get stuck in situations like this. But I thought this was such a great movie. Really caught me off guard in the best way. Really enjoyed this.
And the mother's played by Oliki Adale. It's I maybe probably that's not how you pronounce it, but yeah. She's a Nigerian actress there. She was in things like Saw 3D. So this is one of her other bigger credits here. Yeah. So yeah, with this movie, is it something groundbreaking in terms of, sports biopic
I
films
mean,
there,
no,
or
no.
sports films in general? No, it's not. I mean, it follows that conventional kind of story there. Underdog story there that you see in most sports films, but it's the execution of it that makes it good. And like I said, the other story there of how this girl is dealing with life in Flint, Michigan, the life after she wins the medal. Because yeah, I mean, they basically, they tell her like, yeah, I mean, you won the Olympic gold medal, which is huge, but you're excelling as a female athlete in a sport which most people don't really frankly care about. If it was you're a female athlete
Yeah.
in volleyball or even the WNBA, you'd have a better chance. You're more marketable that way
It,
as opposed to something like boxing.
they basically tell her to smile more. Like, that's essentially what they do. They're just like, we like, you need to be hotter. Like, that's essentially what they tell her. And that conversation is really uncomfortable, but unfortunately it's very relevant. When you think about um what was his name? Seth Blatter, the guy who used to run FIFA. I still remember a couple, like 5 years ago, him being like, "Oh, women's soccer would be popular if we put them in shorter shorts." It's like, Jesus Christ, people, like that shit still
Oh, he was on
happens.
that
People,
Shaquille O'Neal shit. Like Shaquille O'Neal
yeah, yeah. It was like one of those things. I was like, oh, like, don't know, man. But there is one conversation in this movie that Jason and Clarissa end up having about like money, and about how he's really putting himself in a bad position because he's not getting paid to be a boxing trainer, which is something I really think people don't understand. That, like, sometimes you have to put in time and money into your hobbies and you don't get paid for them. Like, it's not great, but you're passionate about it. And the dramatic scenes between the two of them are really where the movie shines for me,
Mm.
because there isn't a bad one. Like, they're all incredible whenever they're on screen together. It's perfection for me. And of course, the big fight they end up having, uh who that shit gets uncomfortable. uh that shit gets uncomfortable, like when you were a kid and you go over to your friend's house and the mom and dad would be fighting at the dinner table. Like it gets that level of like where you're like, ugh. Um, but I love the training montages that they put in here. I don't know how much of the stunts she was doing herself, but they do a good job of like cutting. So you're not they're not doing that boring shit, but like it looks like she's putting in all this work and she's doing a lot of the fighting herself. So props to Destiny, props to her stunt people on that. But yeah, man, like the score is fantastic. The soundtrack is great. Um, it definitely gives off Creed vibes. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this. It's frustrating because I feel like I didn't see a trailer for this. Like I just kind of knew about it just cuz. But yeah, like it felt like they did not advertise this, which they definitely should have. I think this is an Amazon production, so it'll probably be on Prime Video, but like,
Yeah, I think maybe it's like MGM.
yeah, so yeah, they have a thing with Prime. So it'll probably end up on Prime Video sooner than later. So if you haven't had a chance to go see it, um, and you're not feeling like going to a theater, you can always you can wait on this. But I would say check this out. As far
Tune
as like
in
a
or streaming.
oh yeah, tune in. Yeah, it's all tune in. I yeah, I really like this. I enjoyed this a lot. I got emotional at a couple points. Like I said, the fight that they end up having is just such a real fight. Like it's such one of those where you're like, okay, and then like where the movie ends up. I really enjoy where the film ends up. Um, and talking about Flint, people Flint's been in the news for a lot of unfortunate reasons because our government doesn't give a fuck, which but I it's really cool to see the people Flint represented and kind of learn more about that city and like what her progress means to that city and to other people who look up to her. And that's a message I think a lot of people need to hear. It's not always about you. It's not always about your accomplishments. Like your accomplishments can influence others and inspire others. So that's why sometimes you might have people pushing you a little harder. But yeah, this is a solid tune in for me. Really enjoyed this.
Yeah. Yeah, I quite liked it. I think I saw a trailer for this, yeah, in the theaters, like before film.
I might have
Um,
seen one, like
yeah,
maybe one.
this wasn't like Speak No Evil where they were hammering you with the damn.
Dude, seriously, I feel like I was like dreaming about that shit. Yeah, yeah, okay, I was seeing that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. So yeah, I think yeah, maybe I saw like one or two trailers for this film before a movie there in theaters. And this movie, I mean, it's unfortunate the releasing of this because it's coming out Christmas Day, and you got Sonic, and you got Mufasa, and you got Nosferatu, and you
Th-
got
this
all
would
these.
have benefited from like a January 14th release. Like cuz
Yeah,
it's too crowded right now with all the shit right out right now.
yeah, it's just yeah, it's way too crowded, so it's buried under all those other bigger movies. And it's I think it's a strong film. It's a decent film. This is the directorial debut of Rachel Morrison there. And I think it's done well. I think it's a solid directorial debut. You mentioned the boxing scenes in here; they're very well shot. They're very well done. When you think about like the top of what we've seen just in modern kind of memory, you think of like something like Creed, which that did it really excellently well. And that's on that not on that level
Yeah,
there,
it's up
but
there.
it's still solid there, and you could tell this is a lower budget movie. This is $12 million as opposed to something more like bigger budget, like a Creed film there.
Yeah.
So
They maximize that budget though. Like they do a good job of like making like the scenes feel epic. Like the whole Olympic trial she has to go through. Like, she takes some shots in that. But they do a good job of making it feel important given the more modest budget. So,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's led by strong performances, especially like you said from Brian Tyree Henry and Ryan Destiny, who are the two leads here. Their relationship, him as her coach. I mean, he's basically everything to this girl. He's the coach.
Yeah.
He's the parent figure. He's the accountant. He's the lawyer. He's the publicist. He's the agent. You know what I mean. His wife is the hairdresser for her. You know what I mean. Like they're
Yeah.
basically everything.
Yeah.
For this girl there. So their dynamic was really great there. And there's some, I mean, some stuff about her personal life that comes up in this movie there, some very dramatic stuff. which they don't delve into a whole lot there. They just kind of say it and kind of move on there. Uh, but yeah, that was done really well. So, yeah, I enjoy it. I give this a also a solid tune in
Yeah,
myself. I yeah,
nice.
I think people should go check it out. It gave me I never heard about this woman before, Claressa Shields. So it gave me a person there that I didn't know about. So
Her workouts are terrifying. Holy shit! I would not want to get punched by her. Like God, like they show like some first shit like at the end and like kind of go over her records and all that. Like she's been insanely successful. Like it's pretty wild actually how much she's done. And I feel like Nick would probably know this because he's a nerd, but yeah, I wasn't familiar with her, but she's insane. She's a great athlete, so yeah, check it out.
yeah, I saw a video of her. She said she wants to fight Layla Ali. She wants to do like a match with Layla Ali, maybe.
I mean, I'd take her to win.
Well,
Like
yeah, I mean Layla Ali's like almost 50 years old.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, like I think she put up a better fight than Mike, but like
yeah,
like yeah, yeah. Don't take that fight. Don't take that fight.
yeah. I mean, we don't want to see yeah. Old people, older people stay out of the ring there in terms of boxing. It's okay, Uh,
Yeah, you can be president, but you can't be boxing. Yeah.
yeah, that's fine. So yeah, two solid tune ins for The Fire Inside. Originally, this movie was going to be called Flint Strong. You like Flint Strong over The Fire Inside?
Hmm. I actually like Flint Strong. I actually like that. Yeah, I wouldn't have minded that. The Fire Inside is
Kind of generic.
yeah, dude, that's literally the word I was going to use. Yeah, it's a little more generic, so I get why they went with that. But Flint Strong, I think, and there's actually a very good speech that Brian Tyree Henry kind of gives on the origins of Flint that I was like, oh, I did not know that. Like, all right, like respect. I appreciate I appreciate the history lesson, Kendrick. It was a nice little thing that they put in there. But yeah, I actually would have preferred Flint Strong. I think that would have made it stand out more.
And this is from Wikipedia, but from my reading here, it says Ice Cube was originally cast as the coach,
Oh,
but
thank God that didn't happen.
but
Oh man.
he dropped out after refusing to get vaccinated for COVID-19.
Well, you know what? Dummy. But you know what? Good. We got an upgrade. Yeah, I don't need some what was that football movie he did? The I, I
Uh,
I can't even I can't think of it. I can picture the poster.
I was thinking
Uh
maybe he was gonna play like his boxing character in that movie, Lottery Ticket or something. He's gonna do
the
that.
long shots. That's the one. Yeah, yeah. I don't need to see some the long shots shit. So I'm happy you dropped out. Good.
Yeah. So yeah. Flint Strong, I think is that's a pretty distinctive title. It matches the personality of the movie, the theme of the movie. I think Flint Strong.
Yeah, I really like that better. I'm kind of mad they didn't go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was our thoughts on Fire Inside there.